Welcome to Barely Stable, an intermediate level podcast. Hosted by Nick Barr and Daniel Freeberg. Produced by Daniel Rigdon. A cool disc golf podcast for intermediate players. This is the Barely Stable Podcast.
Live from beautiful Austin, Texas, it's the Barely Stable Podcast. We're ready to BS. Here are your hosts, Daniel Freeberg and Nick Barr.
Welcome, everybody, to the Barely Stable Podcast. Moving along, episode 5.
Number 5, here we go.
With me, as always, is Nick Barr, the man with the plan.
What's up, man? How are you doing today?
Doing good, feeling
How
good.
you feeling? You had a long weekend.
I'm a little sore.
Played a lot of disc golf.
4 rounds in 2 days out at Moody's was a lot.
That's a lot. You know who didn't play any disc golf this weekend? Our good time producer, Mr. Daniel Rigdon. How you doing, man?
I'm feeling good. I love disc golf. I love podcasts. I love you guys. I'm ready to go.
Man, we're lucky. How great is this?
Yeah.
And best producer ever?
Pretty fantastic.
I am.
Yes.
That's easy. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Love
there it
it.
is. Should we
Love
get an
it.
award? All right, let's get one. All right.
But,
Speaking of awards, we do have some blue sunglasses, which guess what? Forgot to bring them in today, so we're not going to have those for this episode, even though we mentioned them last episode. Yeah. That's my bad.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time.
I have them in the truck.
Oh, you do?
I
forgot the other pair. Yeah.
That's okay. The 2 rounds. So we did our doubles round.
Okay.
Super fun. We shot 11 down.
11 down,
both,
not bad.
Both rounds.
Oh,
So-
both rounds we were 11 down?
Yeah.
That's pretty
so
good. That's
22
not bad.
down. Yeah. We middle of the pack.
Yeah, we
I
finished
made
middle of
2.
the pack. Wasn't the greatest. I think we started hot, then just sort of cooled off a bit. Then Freeberg got the backpack on. I jumped in the backpack, and we finished the rest of the round.
We did all right the second round.
You know what's funny is the second round we were kind of getting smoked by the team on our card from the jump, and I mean they were stepping on us. And every time I thought we'd get a stroke or like I could pop a long one down, we just weren't getting down the freeway.
Yeah.
But no, we were not bogeying.
Nope. No bogeys.
No bogeys.
No bogeys on the day.
On the whole day, which was great.
day.
For doubles, I mean, can't really complain with that. Did we hit all our putts? We did not. But it's okay. I felt like we had a great time. And you got to love Moody's. It's like one of the best places here in Austin to go out and play.
It's cool. 25 years it's been around.
It's incredible. He's getting tee-pads going on out there. The course is just hitting another level every time you go out there. Shout out to Dave Moody and his patience for having so many people come out there so often. I can only imagine what it's like having that many people drive through your property. But thank you so much for letting us play out there. That was a good time.
And for towing old Freeberg out of the mud. I got stuck in the mud.
That's right.
Super
Freeberg
embarrassing. Yeah.
What do you drive, Freeberg?
I drive a Toyota Tacoma.
That's right.
There's no weight in the back. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you need the, what do you call them, the snow weights in the back.
Yeah. No.
Don't need that here in Texas.
He got me out with the tractor. It was good
Yeah. The tractor got you out, which was kind of cool to see him pull the tractor out.
Yeah.
That's kind of first time
Super
I met him, he
embarrassing.
was on the tractor and he was moving stumps out of the way of a hole, like literally minutes before a tournament. And I was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, this seems a little in the way."
Yeah.
It's like that's
It's so
awesome.
cool. Just a cool dude.
The coolest
right?
dude. I mean, if you could just pick a guy to us like achieve towards,
Yeah.
it's kind of him.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, we're all working towards David Moody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a great show for you guys today. We've got a lot going on. In the studio today, we have David Bibiano, the creator of the Power Disc Golf Academy. Excuse me. A great program, something I wish that was around when I started and got into disc golf. It's basically a culmination of all the greatest tips and tools you need as you get going and are learning disc golf. Really good for beginners, but plenty of people in the intermediate and advanced level can really get a tip or two in there that are super useful. He's working with some,
Huge names.
Do you trust anyone more than Simon Lizotte and Paul Ulibarri?
And Ezra Adderhold now.
And then you add Ezra.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's pretty cool.
It's a pretty all-star cast on the thing. So we'll talk to him in just a few minutes about how he got going and how it's going, how his is different. We'll play a couple games with him. And then at the end of the episode, we'll do a little giveaway. We'll keep that as a surprise for now. But what we do have, let's see him right here.
Ooh.
We now have, if you see us out on the course, ask for one. We got some stickers. This is a barely stable, I guess is a like soda can?
Soda can, energy drink.
Energy drink. And then we have
Fired up.
cassettes because, the whole vintage thing we got going on, you know?
Because we're old.
We're old. That's basically it. Most people don't remember having cassettes. And if you do, you're one of us.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Welcome to the old guy squad.
Looks like Lola's got her antennas up. Do you have your phone for Mr. Bibiano?
Yes, I do. I have it turned on too, so it'll ring.
All right, cool.
Wanted to do a quick thing, the Moody's, I played that Sunday out there. Windiest round of disc golf I have ever played.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever.
So
What
windy.
was
40
the-
mile an hour gusts.
How windy was
40
it?
mile an hour gusts.
He was ready for it.
Yeah.
There was, I'll tell you what, the good thing that happened with the wind. We were on hole 10, which is a really long one. There's a pond on the left, and the basket's kind of up on the right from the pond. And a dude had thrown almost into the water, and he was trying to do his comeback. And the wind picked it up, and it skipped off the top of the basket, and it looked like it was going to go another 30 or 40 feet past it. And the wind caught it and blew it in on the opposite side of the basket from where he was.
And it went in.
Yeah, and it went in.
Wow.
This is like the best par save I've ever seen.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, so you had us talking to Ken Climo last week. How do you feel that went, Mr. Freeberg?
12-time world champion Ken Climo from X.
Yeah, definitely
yeah,
Ken
I
Climo
thought-
from X, not Ken Climo. Have him on all my discs. Was it like the first guy you see on most discs when you buy an Innova?
I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. I think if I was Ken Climo, that's the kind of shit I would do.
Okay, all right. Just so we're clear, Rigdon, I think you're with me.
Yeah.
We are apologize to the Ken Climo family and everyone who loves Ken Climo. He seems like a wonderful man. Ken Climo from X.
Also very cool. Wonderful man. Doing some
Debatable.
good things for the community.
Okay. Well, I mean, like maybe it's not Ken Climo, but Ken Climo from X.
Ken Climo
you can
from
still
X.
fanboy him. I guess that's cool. You can still-
He's really nice. Also our first follower on X still, regardless.
It's still that's you can never we can never not have that be a fact.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's always going to be
Yeah.
a thing. What did you think about the conversation, Rigdon?
I didn't like it.
You looked a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I saw you
He-
feverishly on the computer researching.
Yeah, I was doing some research. There's definitely been some things that have come out that make me think that there was no way that was Ken Climo as he was talking. Like I was watching a video of Ken Climo saying how that was not him. So I was a little uncomfortable.
I mean, I've seen that same video where he's saying totally different stuff though. So
if you say
same,
so.
same with the text. There was the Brody
Can you show
Smith
those
text.
videos?
Well, yeah, one of them is a deep fake, but we could definitely pull.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we don't need to show the deep fake. That's okay. Jeez Louise. All right. Well,
I
I'll
love
tell you
that
what.
guy.
If he means anything, it was not a bad combo. He seems like he's all right guy. If I ran into him on the course, he's definitely getting a beer out of the bag. That's for sure. I'll tell you that. Thanks to Ken Climo from X again for calling in last week. We appreciate it. We had a great time talking to you. And I think when we come back, we'll have David Bibiano from the Power Disc Golf Academy, and we'll talk to him all about what he's got going with that and those three big swinging disc golfers he's got on his
Big names. It's a cool story. I
it's
can't wait to
awesome.
hear it.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know. You want to throw us to a break?
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Barely Stable podcast. We are here with David Bibiano, the I guess we'd call you the leader, CEO, head honcho of the Power Disc Golf Academy, bar none, best disc golf academy out there. He's got this together here in Austin, Texas, and we're sitting down with him just to kind of, talk about the academy. How you doing today, David?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, it's good to see somebody put a lot of effort into making a good podcast and doing it right. You guys look like it's pretty awesome.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Trying to live up to how good Nick has made everything here with our
Yeah, I mean,
Just the conversation could be as good. We'll be okay.
I know. I mean, you guys got the visuals that looks good, and that's the number one rule, right? Always
step.
look cool. If you look cool, then you're good to go.
We're halfway there, right?
You're getting there.
we ours is
Just
be
kidding, it
cool.
looks awesome.
Because it already.
Yeah,
Well.
be cool, look cool. Coolish.
Yeah.
We're in the neighborhood. Like, we're on the block where cool begins, probably.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got the bad neighborhoods behind us. The coolest probably still ahead. You still probably got some
100%.
blocks to walk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're getting there. So we appreciate you coming in, man. I think the biggest question all of us had was, how did all of this get started? How did you go, hey, you know what we need? A Power Disc Golf Academy.
Yeah. Well, it started because I suck at disc golf. I'm not very good at it. I guess it'd be easier for me just to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory. So I own two companies here in Austin. I own a video production and strategy company. So we work primarily with corporations to help them implement video strategies that, help them grow. I launched that about 5 years ago, and it was very, very successful. It just skyrocketed. And it skyrocketed mainly because I approach it from a business aspect instead of an art aspect. And the intent was to get my clients the results that they were looking for, not just to have a cool looking video, but to have something that got them results. So my business took off, and I had a lot of videographers reaching out to me saying, hey man, how in the world are you getting people to pay you $50,000, $100,000 to make videos? Because I can't get them to pay me $500. And my videos are way better than your videos. And what I came to realize was that videographers and artists in general are terrible entrepreneurs. They don't know how to bring value to a client, and because they don't, then they struggle to be in business themselves. So I launched my second company, which is a coaching company. It's called the Real Deal Video Strategist Club, and I teach creative entrepreneurs, specifically in video, how to run a video production business and how to be successful at it. I don't teach them how to use their camera gear, so all this cool stuff that you guys have that you're obviously pretty good at. I don't teach that because they already know how to use that. That's their skill. I teach them how to run the business. So that's what I do. Now, about 3 years ago, I picked up disc golf. I got the same story everybody else does. Somebody invited me. My father-in-law said, hey, you want to play disc golf? And I was like, what do you mean, like golf with frisbees? What are we doing? Like, okay. So we went and I got hooked. And then like a week later, I had a full bag. And I was like, I want to be good at this. And my first thought was, I'll go buy a program similar to what I teach, but in disc golf. I'll go buy an online academy that teaches me what flight numbers are and what overstable is and what this is an Anheuser, and I don't understand any of this stuff. And to my surprise, there just wasn't really
nothing,
a good program.
It's you got to go searching.
Right.
It's a lot of haze, very few needles.
Absolutely. And so I did what everybody else does. I went straight to YouTube, and I spent hours and hours and hours going through all the clickbait and long videos and trial and error and building bad habits and doing all these things to try to improve my game. And one day I was just like, you know what? Why don't I just create an academy? Why don't I just do that and hire some of the pros to teach it? So I started reaching out to some pros. I reached out to Eagle McMahon and Simon Lizotte. To my surprise, they answered back pretty quick. Both of them answered back within like a week. And I was like, what?
That's rad.
Are these guys actually? Because I know you see them in Jomez and they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had conversations with Eagle for probably about 4 or 5 months, and then he decided it wasn't a great fit for him. And I got back in contact with Simon, and Simon was like, this is great, dude. But if I'm going to do this, I want to bring Yuli on. And I was like,
obviously, that's cool. Yes.
Let's go.
Not the captain.
So we brought Paul in, and Paul was like, this is fantastic. And at about that time, Simon was going to make his switch to MVP. Mm-hmm. And he came back to us and he's like, man, you know what? I'm gonna have to back out of this. I've got this contract coming up, and I don't think that I'll have the time for this. So I went to Yuli and I said, hey, Paul, I think we have a good idea. And Paul was like, I'm in, dude. Let's just do it. So we did it. We launched, filmed all the initial lessons here in Austin. We got Paul out here to film them all.
Where did you guys film? I saw it was like an indoor location. It was like an indoor soccer place?
Yeah,
or?
So we film a few places. Our indoor place is called Hit Athletic. It's a gym in North Austin, and we use their batting cage facility. Right. So all the lessons that you see is real nice because we can throw discs inside in a relatively small space and not break anything because they got all the batting cage nets up. But we filmed in Austin. We filmed a couple of the disc golf courses and some open fields, and that's how it got started.
It's pretty awesome.
Really
So
cool.
I guess your initial involvement with you now have a pretty good team as far as pros. So Uli was your, I guess, core beginning, because it seems like he is in most videos, right? He is like I think it's even labeled the Uli Leadership Institute.
But yeah, so Uli has his Leadership Institute and his foundation. He's our primary coach. I mean, he's more of like a business partner in this, and we run it together. Obviously, he does the coaching stuff, and I do all the course stuff and platforms and video and all this stuff. So he does it all. And then, we brought Simon back on board. After we got launched and Simon got his deal with MVP all squared away, we reached back out and I was like, hey man, everybody's requesting that you teach some lessons. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So he hopped in and then talked to Ezra Aderhold, and he was like, I'm in. And Holland Hanley said, I'm in. And so those are our 4 instructors right now. We're talking to 2 more that hopefully we'll be able to announce in the next 30 days or so.
That's amazing. So around when the season starts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Love-
That's the plan.
Love hearing that you just kind of reached out by email and
It's-
they're like, yeah, man, that sounds like a great idea.
Very accessible, it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, disc golf is in that weird place where like we see these athletes up on Joe Mez and the Disc Golf Network, and to me and you, it's like, well, that's Simon. You know, like he's on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And in all reality, and what I've hanging out with these guys and girls for that matters, they're just normal people, and they're not at the level of like the NBA or the NFL where if you send them an email, it just says
Goes through
talk
4
to my agent
people.
or something.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised that Eagle answered back in probably like 48 hours, and I was like, I wasn't even prepared to pitch him anything because I
wouldn't be.
He's not even
Yeah.
gonna answer. Simon, I wasn't prepared, so I threw like a pitch deck together, and I was like, I got to get this ready, and but yeah, very accessible.
Tell us a little bit about the Disc Golf Academy, like how it works, how it helps new players. What do you guys do to get people going?
Absolutely. So it's 100% online. All the lessons are on a platform that we host them on, and what we've tried to do is do something that fits in that slot right between trying to do everything for free on YouTube and hiring a coach. Because doing everything for free on YouTube or trying to teach yourself is obviously free. That's the benefit to it. But the con to that is it takes forever. You build bad habits. You have to work through that. You don't have any, whatever. But it's free. On the opposite end, and I think that like one-on-one in-person coaching is probably the best coaching that you can receive. But it's also very expensive. Typical coaches charge anywhere between $60 to, Paul charges $400 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah. So like if you're serious about improving your game and you can make that investment, I highly recommend that you do that. Yeah. But most people are like, I'm not either not as serious or I can't afford that. So what's in the middle? Mm-hmm. And what we've created is an online academy that covers all aspects of disc golf. And it's taught by obviously our 4 instructors. So everything from spin putting to flick rollers to situational awareness, how to build your bag, gaining distance, everything that you could think about in disc golf, we have pretty much a lesson to cover that. And it's very simple. It's all in one spot. You log in, go watch the lessons that you want to watch, and then go and improve your game.
I think the thing I enjoyed the most is you take a very Socratic method to building the person's game. You start around the basket, you kind of work your way out, and you kind of establish core fundamentals that are sort of built on, which is nothing you're ever going to find on YouTube's wandering about. No. And then I think the other thing is, as you get the core things done, if you want to go deeper on anything, like Simon has his whole putting thing, after you get done, I don't say Uli's is basic, but he kind of runs you through like the basics. Like if you started on 0-1, that's where he starts. And then Simon goes, there's also this whole other chapter here if you're feeling crazy and want to put some spin on it.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, that's really addictive as someone who just likes to, absorb that kind of content. Like I would listen to that anyway,
right.
Not just, taking his lesson, but now that it's like being fed to me in a way that I don't say I'm forced to learn, but I want to go learn it. I want to go try it. I think you got a gem on your hands here, man.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And obviously it's a program. There's a curriculum. It's not randomness.
Yeah.
A lot of our members who have come to the academy have built in bad habits, and so they need to go back to the basics. So even watching Paul's, the reason that the very first set of lessons is the spin putt is because this is where the most people lose their strokes on the disc golf course is their putting.
Absolutely.
And their fundamentals are off. So even if you're an advanced player, coming back to the fundamentals and dialing in that on a little bit more helps out. And then as you start to build the good habits, then you just build on top of that and improve the game even more.
Nice.
Rad.
Very nice.
Now I noticed you're wearing the hat with the patch. Tell me about the patches.
Yeah.
This is a very cool thing.
Yeah, this is something that was my favorite thing about it gives you like achievements.
Right.
You get on Xbox or trophies for video games.
Right. So this is a crazy hairball idea, and I put it out to our community. We have a Facebook community too, like a private group. So very, very active. And I put it out there and I said, I have this idea. Tell me what you guys think and give me some feedback. We had a big Zoom meeting. There was like 50 people that wanted to put their input. But what we decided to do last year was called the Full Flight Challenge. And we came up with almost like a scavenger hunt list of challenges that you had to complete. And it was a mix of practicing and attending Pro Tour events or whatever. So you had the base level. This is the base level patch. So this is the white level, and it's almost like karate. So you go in and you got the white belt, then the blue belt, and then red belt, black belt. That was kind of the thought. And so you had a list of items that you had to complete. And when you completed the list, we would send you, these are, and I'm not sure, where's the camera?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's an actual like rubber patch.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So it sticks onto the hat. And once they complete it, they swap it out to the next one and it signifies that they went on to the next level.
So it's the color that the logo is in that it signifies the
Correct.
layer. So that's kind of cool. So they're all black, and then you get a red one or a purple.
Right.
Or that's cool.
Right. Yeah. So
is the last like all blacked out?
No, it's not. That would be very hard to see. Yeah. So it's actually the logo's black and the background of the logo is white.
So it's clearly different from all the other
Right.
ones. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And then what we did with it was, the first 3 people to complete the challenge, and it was very hard. It wasn't easy. Like you had to do stuff like get an ace on camera and take a picture with Paul while wearing a hat.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff. But the first 3 people that finished, we're sponsoring them this year to play in tournaments, 10 tournaments apiece.
Wow, that's
That's a cool thing.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So, there was some weight to it to go get it done. And Shane and Jonathan and who's my third person? I already forgot. But we sponsored them. So, paid for 10 of their tournaments and they're part of our power team.
That's really cool. And they just wear a power disc golf jersey during the tournament. That's
Yeah.
it. That's, man, not that bad. Because and I'm not trying to geek out on, but pretty cool jerseys you got
Thank
too.
you.
I keep seeing them out on the course. I'm always jealous of them. They always look great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife is always like, "You don't wear anything else other than your jerseys," and I'm like, "They're the most comfortable thing
They're
that
soft
I have."
and yeah.
Why would I wear anything else? So I'm always in a jersey.
That's great. When you're out there playing on the course, do you feel the do you feel the effects of kind of what you've not just got, you've kind of taken the academy by creating it, right? So you've been through everything intimately. When you're out there, do you feel overwhelmed at all with how much you've absorbed in such a fast amount of time?
Well, it's interesting. You would think that I would progress a lot better since I'm, up close and personal with, Paul and Simon and stuff. But as a video person, there's a lot of stuff going on with the cameras.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm running production, I'm not always completely focused on what they're saying. So I have to go back and watch the lessons myself, right? Like I'm almost on the same track as our students are on because I'm not really paying attention during production. Which is interesting. Everybody's always like, "Oh, like you should be learning the fastest pace ever."
Oh no, that makes more sense to be honest with that. That checks out completely.
I think you can say the proof is in the pudding, though. We've played a few rounds together.
Yeah.
And I think our first round we played together, you struggled a little bit.
Oh, I struggled a lot.
And then, I didn't struggle that much, but we played that tournament, the NADDT last year, and you smoked it. You qualified for MA2.
Yeah.
And he kicked my ass.
I mean, the whole reason that I wanted to start the academy is because I was bad at disc golf. Mm-hmm. I'm still bad at disc golf, but I'm much better than I was. It's a lifelong journey, but it's definitely improved my game.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I guess what I meant was like I almost feel overwhelmed by how much information is in the academy. I feel like there's always just like I could take a break and then go back in a month and just kind of dig into another little drawer or crevasse of it's like,
More
okay.
stuff.
Holly's got so Hanley's got a whole Holland Hanley. I'm sorry, I keep saying the name mixed up in my head, but she just has a whole. I think she has like 15 new videos that just came out kind of recently. Simon seems like I don't know if you just filmed them all and they're just slowly coming out, but I feel like every time I look on there, there's another couple Simon videos that pop up.
Yep.
It's as a subscription thing, sometimes I feel like you get it, you kind of go through it all in a month, and then you're like, why did I get a year subscription? But this doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah, no, we're adding on, and the plan is to add on quite a bit. Even though we've covered a lot of the topics in disc golf, there's still so much. Like you could play the game, and I think if you were to ask like Paul, for example, who has more starts, elite starts and major starts than anybody in history. You could ask him, "Are you still learning stuff?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm still learning. There's always stuff to learn."
I watched the video with him and Ezra,
right?
Where Ezra was like, "Throw more violently,"
right?
And then he threw further,
right?
And it's really neat to see someone like Paul freaking Ulibarri be like, "Oh wow, I learned to do something," you know what I mean? And if he's still learning,
right,
we can all still learn,
absolutely.
Right?
And I think it's great too that Paul, like even on his YouTube, I think it was yesterday, the day before, he just put up just his field work, and it was just not edited. It was just, here's what I do, here's how I do it, here's why I'm doing it. And his argument was simple: I putt well from circle one.
Right.
I'm a very good circle one putter, maybe the best circle one putter.
He had the best. Yeah, did you see that streak last year? He had the longest
Yeah,
streak.
that's
Longest streaker.
I mean, it's unarguable. He's like, if I can throw it in circle one more, I will be unarguably a better disc golfer.
Right.
So I'm going to work on throwing it in circle one a whole lot more.
Right.
That's
Super
he
cool.
doesn't need to do that.
Right.
He could just keep competing and always be kind of in the mix. But that kind of like drive is someone you kind of want to learn from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And he's a phenomenal coach. And I mean, I would argue that he's the best disc golf coach in disc golf. And, you know, a lot of people will be like, well, you know, he's not Paul Macbeth. He's not Ricky Wysocki. He's not Ken Climo. He's not the best. And my response to that is very rarely are the best coaches the best athlete, right?
Anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan wouldn't be a great coach,
Terrible
but
coach.
Steve Kerr
Yeah.
is a phenomenal coach, right?
Excellent example.
Okay, so, you know, Paul understands how to coach and how to get the most out of people. And that includes our coaches. So when we pick like Simon and we pick Holland and Ezra specifically, Paul, he was like, we need to get these people on board because they know how to teach and they know how to get more out of people. And like the lessons that we just put out with Holland are like, just what you said, there's so much to learn. How do I do all of this stuff? We just put out a lesson on how to practice better and get more out of your practice sessions. What should you focus on? How much of that should you practice? When should you move on to the next thing? How do you not get overwhelmed? So it goes pretty deep.
That's cool.
That's really cool. The I guess the team that you have now, adding 2 more, that's a solid 6. Is it crazy to think that you'd have 12 3 years from now? Or like, does it keep growing? What's the, I guess, have you thought about that? Or are you kind of just riding this wave as it's going?
I'm a big guy idea.
I love it.
So I got big ideas, and we would love to continue to bring on people as long as they have a unique perspective to give and are good coaches.
Yeah.
They can coach well. And if we add to the point where we get to 12, then yes. And I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but we got an official partnership with the Pro Tour now. So
That's huge.
Yeah, we got an official partnership agreement with them. So they're taking an interest in our growth. And you know, we have the same interest of, you know, growing the sport.
Yeah.
And so with their help and some of the stuff that we're going to do, we're aiming to take the academy pretty high, to a place that's just going to, you know, help people be healthier, have a healthy addiction, and go out and get some sun and play some disc golf and play it better.
Get some exercise.
That's amazing. So we have got a couple of hard questions for you.
Ooh, okay.
You,
All right. Bring the hot.
they
ready
will
for
get
this?
progressively harder.
It's getting hot.
It's getting a little hot. Now they'll get
It is the hot
progressively
seat.
harder. The last one you can choose not to answer.
Okay. All right.
But we hope you do.
I already think I know what it is, but all right.
All right. So the Power Disc Golf Academy is far from the only disc golf academy out there.
Right.
There's a few other ones. We're not trying to bash or name names or compare, but simply from a product standpoint, you're a product guy. You know how to get, like, what is the differentiation between yours and the others?
I think the secret sauce in our academy is the community. One of the main goals that I have with looking at it as a business is to take the academy to a point where it's the most admired brand in disc golf. And I want to do that by making people feel like they're part of something and not just a customer. We want them to feel like they're a part of a community and we're all growing together. And doing things like sponsoring our power team, right? So we got the 3 people that finished the challenge, and then we got 3 additional people that we're sponsoring. These are people that are like, you know, MA3. You know, we're not requiring them to win tournaments. We're not requiring them to play at a certain level or have a certain rating. What we want to do is help them improve their disc golf game. And I think that our community is our most important part of the academy, and that's what everybody loves the most. They're like, we get all these lessons, that's great, but the community is where it's at. Yeah. And it's been awesome. We do challenges, we do giveaways, we do all kinds of fun stuff in the academy.
Can you tell us about some of the fun stuff?
Yeah, we've done an ace race. I think was our funnest one. In fact, this is how we kind of got Simon back on board after he couldn't do it the first time. So what we set up was a virtual ace race. So it doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you're in Norway or Austin, Texas, or Maple Hill. Doesn't matter. What you do is you pick a course that you think that you can get an ace on, a specific hole, and we're going to have a start time of 12 noon Eastern. Everybody show up to your hole wherever you're at and get your cameras ready because you're going to have to film this. And as soon as I go into our Facebook group and I give a passcode or a code word, the last one was PAL because that's my dog's name. So at 12 noon, I put the word PAL. I said, that's your code word. Go for it. So at 12 noon, everybody starts throwing. They just got like a stack of discs. They're throwing, trying to hit this ace. Man, trying to hit this ace. And when you hit the ace, you have to pick up your camera. Don't stop recording. You got to run all the way to the basket. You got to show that the disc is in there, and you have to say the code word PAL. That way we know that your ace wasn't from like 5 years ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to say the code word. It's like proof of life. And then you have to send it back to me inside of our community. And the first person to do that wins the ace race. So we did it again.
How do we not know about this?
I know.
We
I
would have
loved to
filmed
been
it. That's
on the show.
amazing.
In fact,
That's
we
so
gotta-
much fun.
We got to do another one.
Yeah, that's great.
We'll be in on the next one for sure.
Simon did a vlog. You can go watch Simon's vlogs, and you guys probably link it or whatever. But Jonathan, the guy that beat him by like 30 seconds. It was over in like I think 6 minutes. And the difference was when Jonathan hit it, he was so amped up that he sprinted to the basket. Right, he was like running, and he got his confirmation in, and Simon hit his like probably 30 seconds later, and didn't sprint.
Didn't have that hustle.
He lost by 30 seconds.
That's
He
hilarious.
thought for sure he had it, but he lost.
I mean, to throw
That's
an ace
super
in
cool.
6 minutes is
That's hard.
that's
Yeah.
impressive.
That's hard.
Yeah.
If you gave me an hour, I'm not sure I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure I probably wouldn't do it.
I mean, I'm thinking. I tried during our first ace race. I tried to hit some at Wells Branch because that's like.
Yeah, that's where you got to go, right? Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is probably going to take like an hour. Nobody might not even hit an ace. And the first time we did it, and it was over in like 4 minutes or 5 minutes
Wow.
or something.
Wow.
It'd be
Yeah.
so defeated as if you were like set up. Let's say you're set up in like 9 at Zilker and you've got your stack of bergs and you're just ready to go. And like, so it's like, I didn't even pick up discs yet. What are you doing? It's hilarious.
I was quite
That's
surprised. And every ace race that we've done since then has been very, very fast.
Well, as the official intermediate level podcast, we appreciate your involvement in the MA2 and MA3
Let's
world.
go.
That was
Yeah.
the biggest thing, I think. While we talked about Power Disc Golf Academy, I think, on 2 of the 3 other episodes.
Awesome.
Only because I feel like not only it helps us, but it's like one of the cool things that came from Austin that is disc golf. So I don't know, just from a local standpoint, I feel like we're proud to have that in the community and be able to see this kind of, I don't know, I feel like we got to see it from the first grain of sand, and then now there's a beach, and now there's a resort, and like,
Yeah.
did they bring in an ocean? Like, it seems like there's a whole ocean now. There was just sand a minute ago.
I was like, I bet we can get, when we were first like putting together like what we do, I was like, I bet I can get David. I can text him. He's going to come.
Let's
So,
go.
Yeah, it's like good people, and I feel like even when we played I think you guys did at Met Center a Power Disc Golf Academy tourney.
Yep.
I feel like I saw you make a putt on 7 or 8, and I was like, oh man, the commish is making putts. Like this thing this is legit. That looked like the video. He just putted the video.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get this thing going.
go.
All right, so our second question again gets a little rockier, gets a little closer.
Yeah.
Right.
So this season, there's been a bit of a change to scorekeeping. Not only does everyone have to keep score, but they've separated a little bit from UDisc.
Right.
And Statmando is going to help the PDGA improve their app, I'm assuming, so that it kind of operates the way UDisc did.
Right.
How do you see, I guess, the amateur game being affected by something like UDisc? Should UDisc fall just the ways of business? As it seems like and this is not to speculate at all, but with I think our subscription just went up double in a single year. That's pretty unprecedented in any business model. There's obviously, everyone loves UDisc. There's obviously something going on there. If UDisc were to happen to go away, what kind of impact do you think that would have on the sport? What do you think about the situation in general?
I don't think that there would be too much of an impact on amateur disc golf. I think if we were to dig into it, and I don't know any of the specifics, obviously, but if we were to dig into the business side of why there is this migration away from UDisc and being amateur and on the pro tour, and moving to Statmando there's probably business reasons why that's happening. From a consumer standpoint, I hope UDisc stays around. I think the app is definitely worth it.
Same.
I love the UDisc app, and
All the stats that it keeps.
I personally don't mind the higher price.
I didn't care either.
I don't
Didn't even
mind
think
paying
twice.
it.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, if something is bringing me value and I enjoy it and it's making my life better, then I'm okay paying that. And I'll pay full price because I want them to stay in business.
And I want them to keep the features coming.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep
Exactly.
improving.
So, but they have competition. Everybody has competition. And I think that you have to, as a business, constantly adapt to an ever-changing landscape. And if you're not able to adapt, then you fall by the wayside. The CEO of Blockbuster once said, Redbox and Netflix are not even on our radar as competitors.
Yeah.
Right.
Foolish.
And it's like,
Yeah.
at the time, why would they see that? Right. I mean, it was a Blockbuster, but you have to adapt.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when all the business stuff gets going, then people make decisions, and there's money at play, and there's growth at play, and there's responsibilities that companies have that are at play. I think that I hope that UDisc finds a way to kind of claw back into where they're at, because they got a phenomenal product.
I loved when they put the ratings on there,
Right.
but I just didn't know why they couldn't line those up with PDGA ratings. It's like, this is what I'm shooting for when I do the tournament. I'd love to have something tell me this is roughly what it's been. But I think that's kind of the classic pitfall for successful companies, is getting a little arrogant, thinking like, well, we've been so successful for so long, whatever we
Right.
do will be the norm. And,
Here's a question for you guys. If your tournament rounds were being kept on PDGA.com, I don't know if you guys are using the PDGA app during
PDGA
rounds.
Live.
I just use the app, and the app works incredible.
Right.
If that app ended up having UDisc type functionality for my just casual rounds, and all my rounds could be in one place,
Kind of makes sense, right?
I don't want that.
And
Yeah.
I probably have a feeling like that's part of what the change
they're
over
trying
is
to do.
about, because I mean, Statmando, I'm pretty sure like they're affiliated with the PDGA.
Yeah, they were purchased by them. Yeah.
Right. So does that make sense? Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
whole point about having any sort of product is that it's a solution to a problem, and the better the solution to the problem, the more you can sell the solution to more people for more money. And so maybe this is a better solution, but time will tell if they do. But we're gonna have something to keep our scores.
yeah.
There's a few options. I didn't even know Infinite Discs has their own scorekeeping
Really?
thing. Yeah, I didn't know
that.
Before UDisc, I had one called Disc Caddy.
I have that on my phone.
You program in the courses yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So it didn't give you the map or anything, but if there was a hard one that was like, it says par 4 on the sign, but
Right.
we're calling it a par 5, guys. Like we used to do some of that.
A little bit of what I saw with the UDisc thing, I just assumed what was happening with Statmando would kind of happen to UDisc. And I thought perhaps maybe UDisc just grew a little too big to be bought, something like that, where their actual worth of the company, like the value of it, was just more than what the PDGA or Disc Golf Pro Tour could pay, or at least what it made sense for them to pay. And if Statmando could create a competing tool that, again, solves a problem and solves more problems, I think at the end, this is going to be a net positive for disc golf, because the more competition, the more, think about it. If they launch an amazing scorekeeping app, what's UDisc going to do? Fold? No, they're going to double down and
more
have
cool
even
stuff.
cooler
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
let's go. Let's get more competition.
And that's the awesome thing about competition,
Yes.
right? Like you
Yeah.
get forced to take that next step and step
Yeah.
outside the comfort zone and push the envelope.
That is, speaking of the comfort zone and pushing the envelope,
You can push it a little more.
Okay.
this is our
Sorry.
third question.
Okay. So this
Now,
is the hardest one.
This is the hardest one.
Okay.
Now, out of respect, because we all have mothers, we would never bring Holland Hanley into this conversation. So we'll set her to a side and know that you love her and she's the best. But there's an old game we used to play in middle school. It's not. It's
Middle school?
maybe high school.
How old are you?
I was born in '81.
You're older than I am.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
all right, middle school.
we have
Okay,
tape.
we'll go back
We
to-
have cassette stickers, sir.
Hey, let's go.
So, we used to play a game where you'd have three people, and one you'd marry, one
Okay.
you'd kill, and one you would make sweet love to.
Okay.
So we figured we'd take your three instructors,
Oh, boy.
and you have to marry, kill Ezra, Yuli, and Simon.
Oh man.
Now he did preface this.
Okay,
with
wait,
you don't have to.
Okay, so it's the age-old tale. I'll just say it. It's excuse me, YouTube. I will bleep this. It's marry, kill
Yep.
is the old ad. So you have those three boys.
Okay.
One of them you must. One of them
Okay.
you must marry. Hey, one of them you must kill.
Okay.
It's tough.
I got it. No,
Okay.
I think I got logic behind this.
Okay.
Just the guys though.
Yeah, just the guys. Yeah.
All
Just the
right.
guys.
All right,
Holland
let's do
gets
it.
to watch and judge you afterwards.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Holland, don't judge me too hard.
Sorry.
I know, right? I mean, Ezra's pretty swole, and he's a good looking dude. So he'd probably be the one that I fucked.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be my
okay.
F
Right?
too.
Jeez. All right. That's
Yeah.
Simon, I'd probably marry Simon because he just seems like a cool guy to be married to. Paul, I had to kill him. Then I could take his portion of the academy. There we go.
Hey.
Right?
I mean,
It's also there's
you cannot argue with the
multiple
logic.
motives here.
I think now we have maybe this might be evidence later, but
Paul, don't worry, man. I'm not
He's
coming
kidding.
for you.
we appreciate you playing their silly little game like a bunch of 12-year-olds. Thanks, man. I didn't mean to. I think we're all blushing as much as you were. Not a big deal.
Was that?
We were all cheesing pretty hard. We were all
I don't know.
All right.
All right, so the last little thing we want to discuss here, since you are very much, I feel like we're all in the same, essentially, like part of our disc golf journey here. We've all been around to all the courses here in Austin.
Yep.
If you had to put your top 5 courses in Austin together,
Okay.
what would they be? And if you don't mind going in reverse order from 5 to 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you so just fun to play or competition?
Well, how?
or-
I mean, let's.
Yeah, just-
we'll all throw in our 5. But what would you like to do? Would you like to be the most where you have the most fun, or like where you think are the most competitive? Your choice.
Okay. 5, I think I'd put Wells Branch.
Okay.
I
And
think-
are we doing fun or are we doing competitive?
Both.
Okay.
Right. Because I mean, Wells Branch, even though it's a pitch and putt, it's also a good practice course.
Absolutely.
You get out there and
Yeah.
hone those skills. But like when they do random dubs, it's fun for competition. And you can play it in like an hour if you're moving. So
jamming,
it's a good lunch break.
It's a good.
Yep.
Lunch break course. So that'd be 5. 4, I think I'd probably say Cat Hollow.
Okay.
I really enjoy that course. I don't know what it is, and there's nothing crazy special about it. I think that there's just defined lines that force me to hit that type of shot that I need to hit, and there's not too many other ways that you can go other than that line. So I think I
Fair enough.
really enjoy
I like courses like that. Yeah.
3, I'd probably say Circle C
Okay.
for competition, because like it's a hard course. It's a tough course. I think you get penalized if you don't hit your shots, and I think that's important in a course, especially during competition.
Oh man, Circle C blows my mind when they have the PDGA, like the tournaments out
Right.
there. Because it's like my best out there was like a +3, and I
Right.
looked that up, and it's like that's not even my rating. There's guys that go out there and just blow that course up.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a good day and get 5 under. You can have a
Yeah.
okay day and get 5 over.
Yeah.
I think that's important. I've played a few events there and I really like it. Then the last 2 are, I think, Roy G and Sprinkle Valley. I think I would have to put Roy G at 2. It's a beautiful course. I love going there. I love playing, especially during the summer because it's always shaded.
Yep.
Yeah, unlike some other courses like Cat Hollow where you're just baking in the sun, or Met Center or something. It's absolutely beautiful. The one big gripe I have about Roy G, especially for competition, is that if you have a bad tee shot, it's too easy to recover for your par. There's so many gaps for you to hit if you're off the fairway compared to like places like Old Settlers Park or Williamson County. Like if you go out the fairway there,
You're done.
Jail.
Yeah, it's not
Take
only
your
jail,
medicine.
but you
Yeah.
got blood coming.
Yeah,
off
you
your
might
hand when
not
you
get
come
your
in.
disc without.
Sprinkle Valley did that to me for a while though too. You get off
Yeah, absolutely.
take its pound of flesh.
I think that's why Sprinkle might be your number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I obviously I don't think that it's ready yet. It's a
Of course
brand
not.
new course,
Yeah.
but the layout is fantastic. It's very challenging. It's long. It's got defined lines. It's got different lines that you can hit on different holes, like on the same hole, I should say. And I really, really like it. I've enjoyed playing it. Not to mention, I'm just pumped. There's another course by my house. I don't have to drive too far.
yeah.
That's pretty rad.
yeah, that's-
If I lived close to that, I would be there every day. I think that's why you've been there so many
Yeah,
times.
I've been there a lot. I'm mad at it right now, but I'll eventually.
We'll get back
to
there.
it.
It's okay.
All right, what'd you mad at it for?
I did the mint tryout and I just stunk it up. I practiced it 18 times. We were talking about it on the cast.
You might have played
18
it more than anyone else.
Okay.
up to that
in
point.
the month
What's your
of
best
December. My best was a +4.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That's really good.
Really good.
The
Dang.
tournament was +17.
Okay. All right.
So
For 1 round or
yeah,
2 rounds?
for 1 round.
Okay.
Yeah, fair question. Yeah.
That is a fair question.
I did a
Nick.
flex out there at +7, and then I shit the bed.
And that's the crazy thing. Like when you practice and you're like, man, I got this. Too easy. Competition brain, tournament brain, completely different story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you I think Sprinkle Valley is the type of disc golf course I wish was played more on the pro tour. I'm kind of tired of these temporary courses on golf courses. I don't really like what we have going on
Right.
here in Austin at the Open at Harvey Penick. It's okay, but I'd much rather see them all shred Sprinkle Valley.
Sure.
It's a long enough course. There's, like you said, there are multiple ways to kind of go about it, and I feel like a skilled player can even push some of those lines
Sure.
to a way that like there's some risk involved where like if you actually want to try to push up and have an eagle look, you can, but heads up, there's out of bounds 20 feet on either side of this.
Big risk,
Good
big
luck.
reward.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. With the temporary courses on the ball golf course, I know obviously the pros are like, yeah, enough of this. It's interesting though. I mean, from a business perspective, like you got to have spectators. You got to have spectators that are able to physically see what's happening.
Park.
Right?
Park.
So-
Eat.
Yeah.
Go potty.
Right.
There's a lot of logistics to having enough people to show up to an event to have it be
Right.
monetarily worthwhile. Yeah.
And places like Sprinkle Valley, or like when I went to play at Maple Hill, it's like, where do you put spectators? Where can they stand here and watch this?
Yeah.
And
It's just to
if-
be part of the design.
yeah, I mean it does, and they have to carve out places, and like if you're gonna have a wooded course, then you have to carve out some of the woods for spectators. Otherwise, they can't see it, and if they can't see it, then do sponsors come in? Do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd love to see more of like the lead cards getting followed and having that live.
Right.
So I think it'd be really bitching to be at Sprinkle Valley in the bar watching the lead card
That'd be cool.
on the TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they just had like, the trailer.
That's very interesting to think about.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to have the spectators because spectators just at the bar. You could still see everybody when they drive on because it's set up so you can see them on 1 and you can see them on 10. And you can have like a little bleachers or something up there. Yeah. Then being inside where you could be at the bar. I like watching football more from my couch.
They do that in Europe. They have like the big screen TVs and stuff, and they make it more to where you can just be at hole 1 and kind of watch the whole thing play out live.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. And instead of having it being like wild, open, and roaming, there could just be a few designated spaces to like sit spectators, and whether there be like a roped off area to stand or some grandstands. Like I
Right.
feel like some of the pro golf tour stops, like the one in Arizona that I went to was just a party, and you could go anywhere on the course. It felt like it was spring break. But then I went to one in North Carolina, and it was not like that at all. It was very structured. You could only go certain areas of the course. There was grandstands. There was no standing.
Right.
There was just you were where you were allowed to be or on one of the paths in between those places. Somewhere between those two things, it feels like disc golf could live maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It's a problem that the pro tour is going to have to solve, and I already know they're trying to solve it because they already know that it's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you grow that? How do you grow that business and keep the integrity of the sport? And they're coming up with solutions. So as a spectator, I'm just happy that I get to go see Ezra bomb.
Yeah.
like that's cool for me.
That's probably the coolest part about Harvey Penick is that there's lots of holes where you can see
Yeah.
bombs.
Yeah.
And is there anything better? That's pretty awesome.
There's not. Yeah. I mean, seeing these guys throw, like if you've never been to a pro tour event or seen a pro throw, it's next level. Like, okay, hole one at Northtown. And Northtown's my favorite or my home course.
Same.
I should have probably put that somewhere in my top 5. I can't believe
Yeah,
it.
that's. I was
weird.
wondering about that. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I've seen you at Northtown
Yeah.
more than
Yeah,
anywhere
well-
else.
Maybe Northtown and Wells Branch.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Anyways, we filmed some stuff there with Ezra, and hole 1, Ezra put it in within, I think it was just circle's edge. From
the drive?
tee. Just
That's nuts.
crushed it. And like when you see pros doing that, it's like, what? How is that possible?
I completely agree. I watched Bradley Williams play Circle C. We were on a 3-card with him, and the way he played 18 made me feel very small. We played the tips, and I felt like I was throwing my 4th shot, and he was waiting and sized up his approach for a 3. And he had an easy birdie, and he probably could have ran it for an eagle,
That's
but
awesome.
he just decided to like dunk on us slightly.
One-handed dunk instead of 2.
The difference, I think that's why I kind of like seeing people play the courses. When I drove back down from Chicago during the holidays, I stopped at Peoria, Illinois.
Okay.
Played, I forget the name of the course there, but
Northwood.
Northwood. And
Yeah.
then I stopped in Jonesboro. I stayed the night. And it was very fun to play the courses that you see the pros play.
It's
and
cool,
it's
right?
very fun to throw your disc partial the way that you see the pros throw it. But I think what I noticed there was that, like, even at Jonesboro, I immediately as I parked, I was like, there's no way 10,000 people come here. And I'll tell you, no one in this neighborhood is going to be appreciative of when that
When that
hell
happens.
descends on this property. Like, there's no way people in this neighborhood, like, I'm looking in the neighborhood, it's all Range Rovers and
Right.
Mercedes. I mean, it's the nicest neighborhood in Arkansas, period. And in the middle of it is this hippie disc golf course, and it's awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's
awesome.
an awesome course. But I just couldn't imagine like that community, taking on a tournament event. And that's what on the drive home I thought a lot about. I was like, that must be why they just do it at ball golf courses, because it's kind of designed for that type of event. I don't think it's something I want it, but I don't think it's something we're going to see a whole lot more of necessarily in the near future.
I think over time, courses will develop. We're similar to ball golf, but also very different. And I think that over time, you'll start to see more pay-to-play courses, which I'm hoping to see.
It'd be great to have 3 or 4 in Austin, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
I think so.
I feel like we could
honestly
handle
think
that
Sprinkle
easily.
Valley should be a pay-to-play course.
I think it will be soon.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Hopefully
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. But yeah, it'll get there. It'll get to the point where growing pains.
Yeah.
It's a growing sport. There was tremendous explosion, obviously during COVID, and that's kind of faded off. But the goal is to continue to grow the sport, and it will.
Absolutely.
However it works.
Yeah. Well, I think that's you went through our whole gauntlet of things. Did you want to hear our top 5 courses before we get out of here?
Yes.
Not a hitch.
So are we doing just top 5 courses in Austin, or top
Just-
5 courses that you played?
Just our local Austin courses.
Okay.
Just ones that we can
Let's
play.
hear.
But I would love to hear, if you want, before we hit ours, I'd love to hear your just caveat courses of your favorite courses you've played outside of Austin.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Okay. Well, I'll give you. How about? Let's see here.
How about another 3 for cherries on top for us?
Okay. I would say I'll give you 4.
Even better.
Okay. We'll do Kilbourne and Hornets Nest in Charlotte.
Okay.
Phenomenal courses.
Are those pay to play?
No, free public parks.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Number 2 is Maple Hill, and seeing Simon throw on 1 is unbelievable.
I
Unbelievable.
can't imagine.
I'm just like, man, can you do that again? We didn't press record, so I need you to do that again.
That's hilarious.
I think you need to throw a provisional there, buddy.
But then the weird one is, I think my favorite disc golf course to play is Roosevelt Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Really?
Right, that's where I'm from originally, and Albuquerque doesn't have a big disc golf scene, but Roosevelt Park is in a park that's very much a bowl, and it's got some really steep hills. So, and big, giant cottonwood trees, huge trees. And you throw up, and you throw down, you throw up, you throw down. And there's some of the coolest lines that you can throw on a disc golf course and just see your dish just go. And every time I'm home, I'm like, I got to play this course like 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
And it's the only course that I would probably, travel to again just to play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Strange little course. And it's not even a full 18. They share baskets. Like,
That's
hole 2 shares a basket with hole 12 or something like that.
just the whole shape of it, though. It being in a bowl and there being so much elevation change. That sounds awesome.
It's so much fun. And it's so you have like a par 3 that's 480 feet, and you can totally park it because it's so downhill. It's like, what? Let's go. I'm throwing all my bag here.
Yeah, you unload the bag when you're sitting on top of
Yeah.
a 480-foot hill.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's my favorite course, I think.
So what about you, Freeberg? Top 5 Austin courses.
Man, let's say Benbrook, newer course. They just did a lot of work out there. Hill Country Hyzer, shout out Hill Country Hyzers. Super cool guys. I've lost a bunch of discs out there.
Oh, man.
And all of them have been found.
My favorite destroyer I lost out there and then was turned in at the Flying Armadillo. Weird. Weird how that happens.
Benbrook, coming south, probably the next one would be OSP. That's just a gorgeous, gorgeous course.
Yeah, I'm love-hate with that course. That's where I got, that was my first round. That's my father-in-law
Oh, yeah.
asked me to play that.
That's a rough first round.
a brutal place
So
to
I don't know
start.
how I stood with disc golf after playing it. That's a tough course.
3 is my hometown. It's my backyard. It's Northtown. I love Northtown.
course.
That's where I met you, I think.
course.
Uh,
Looking for your pizza disc.
yeah. Out there looking for the.
Still a classic.
Pizza
Still
number
a-
1.
Oh, is this, are we in pizza number 2 now?
Yeah, we're on pizza number 2. Pizza number 1 got retired. He was
Shout
turning
out
white.
RIP pizza number 1.
Yeah, he's turning white and getting way too flippy. And then probably after that would be Sprinkle. And the only thing keeping Sprinkle out of number 1 is because I'm mad at it right now. And then number 1 would be Roy G. Roy G and it always plays me to my rating. I never play really well out there, but you can do every kind of shot. It forces you to use almost all the discs in your bag, especially me because I do a lot of scrambling.
Yeah.
And
Progressive disc golf.
There you go.
yeah. And we recently played the longs out there. It's like a whole different course.
It is.
It's also bitching,
Yeah.
and I don't feel nearly as bad about my many bogeys. So.
You got to throw pretty far to get to be able to have a shot for pars and birdie. Like you got to be able to rip.
Oh, yeah, birdies ain't happening from the longs for
Yeah,
me.
I think there's maybe like only the holes where they share a tee is the ones that I'm.
Rigdon's been quiet over there. Let's.
Yeah, Rigdon, what's your top 5?
What do you got? Your top 5, babe?
I just jotted down very quickly. I'm gonna put at number 5. I'm gonna put Live Oak, which I know is not.
No, I think it's a good sneaky number
I feel-
5.
yeah.
It's a very good sneaky number 5. I have a lot of fun playing it, and if I am ever gonna get 1,000 rated round or be able to like really play well above my rating and beat some really good players out there, it's gonna be there because I know I have the capability if my drives are on and my putts are on to put up really good numbers there.
Yeah, your game, I mean, lefties play well there in general, but your game specifically plays really well
They
there.
just improved that, so that one might be moving up soon too. They got
got tee
the
boxes
tee
now?
boxes
Oh, new
out
tee
there
box
now,
and new 18 is
And-
very fun.
Okay.
and they're keeping the Bat City layout.
I love it.
So
Yeah, I've also got Met Center on there again. A really fun course, especially since they made a couple years ago. They made the drainage better. They like redesigned it and everything, just a lot better. And again, I just play pretty decent out there.
home of the biggest win.
Yeah, I
Biggest
got
win?
like a B tier win there, and that feels really good. So I know I can play well out there. Circle C I have on there. I don't always play great at Circle C, but years ago I played disc golf for fun and just really enjoy.
Opposed to now, where it's for blood.
Now sometimes honestly it can be less fun. But I played just for fun in the fact that I was just like, I'm gonna grab some plastic and go out there and throw it and not think about what my form looked like or should I like practice putting. Like no, it was just go out with my buddies and we'd just spend a couple hours messing around out there. We'd play like glow rounds. We'd literally tape like lights onto our disc. Like definitely we didn't have glow discs or anything and we'd just go out there and mess around. So just and it's also a really good course for what it is. It is so well designed
Completely agree.
for how old it is and everything. And it's a challenge, but there are so many holes that are gettable too. So
Yeah.
it's just really, really fun to play. I've got Sprinkle Valley on there. I am not very good at Sprinkle Valley, but it has to be. I'm going to put it at number 2 because I know it's a good course and I want to be good at it.
Yeah.
So at some point, I will be at least decent at it, and so I know it just needs to be high up there on that list. And then number 1, Roy G. I just love it. It's a free course.
It's hard not to like Roy G.
It's just.
I
so
completely
good to
agree.
play.
It's hard, especially being a free course. Is there a better free course in America? That's pretty hard to beat.
And it's so nuts how you're in the middle of the city and you're like, boom, there's deer and shit. Like, it's
aggressive deer.
sometimes
Some aggressive
a little-
deer. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good list. I like getting a like having Live Oak on there. I think every one of us has like a good like course like that on there. I think mine like that would be Zilker.
Yeah.
So I just played league there, and that's where I had that 998 round. So
what are your 5?
So I go Zilker 5, even though like I don't really play Zilker a lot anymore. But I did jam it with like my glow bag the other day, just because I had some time after a shoot, and it's still fun. It's still real fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun being like you said, you're basically in Zilker Park downtown. 4, I would go Circle C. It's basically here in my backyard. Circle C was the first place I ever played like a actual tournament. And that was like maybe 3 weeks after I started playing disc golf. Big news, big eye opener, big eye opener. I want to say I signed up MA40 because I was 40. Mm-hmm. They're good. That's not like you're not getting help there. Yeah, that's not like I think I should have tried MA4.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Those old heads are good.
Yeah, they're really good. So Circle C's on there for sure. Playing the tips is very fun at Circle C. Like Circle C shorts is already hard, but like you can just go and like make that course harder by playing the longs, and it's to me a completely different course. So Circle C is on there for sure. I'd throw Sprinkle Valley in the middle because it's on its way. It's going to be amazing, but I'll let it be amazing when it is. But that said, if I have the time, there's no place else I want to play in town, so it's hard to
It's
even.
still new.
It's still
got
new.
that new shoe smell, you know.
It does.
But I'll put those shoes on any day.
Yeah.
I'll find out any outfit to make that those shoes
have
work.
logs attached to the bottom right now. You're just sliding around.
Yeah. Then 2, I'd probably go. I'm a sucker for Sea Right.
I was wondering.
I feel like
thought
it's
you'd have that. In
It's just a fun. I feel like it's a pitch and putt course, but it's wooded. Like you think you're having a good round till you get to 9, and then you have to kind of actually like throw some shots. Like there's enough of a challenge, but like you said, kind of like Northtown, like I can jam through Sea Right in like 90 minutes and have thrown a couple extra shots.
I've never played there.
The signature number 15.
Okay.
It's maybe
Downhill.
it's
Really
definitely
dope.
the most beautiful hole in Austin Common.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, it's basically like a couple 100 feet downhill, par 3, like 310. Really, just a fun little shot.
I'd love to play that one with you.
Let's do it.
Whenever. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we get a barely stable card going.
Let's go.
1, 2, 3, 4. There we go.
Done.
And then top course, Roy G with a bullet.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's tough to beat.
Roy G was like my cocoon course. I was taking a Roy G when I was introduced to disc golf, and I threw it like 1,000 shots or whatever, however many it took. Like I think I was politely given like a +30 or something on U-Disc. I still keep it on U-Disc. And after that, I was not only exhausted, but I was like, who the fuck would want to do this? Like I just spent all day like I'll just go hiking. Hiking's fun. I like. But then he took me to a couple other courses, and I was like, oh, I get it. Like this is actually
Well, and they recently revamped it too.
absolutely. Yeah, I played the old layout, but as it changed to its new layout, it was when I kind of like you know that part where like you unlock a couple things and like you go, oh, the disc comes out of your hand like this. Nice. Okay.
That's where you learned.
Well, I played it in that. What is it? The capital of Texas?
Yeah, Coda.
Oh, Coda Open, and I was in the mix the whole weekend until we got to Roy G, and I slipped from second out of stroke to like 5th or 6th, and that's unacceptable. So I got psycho, and I went to that course, 1,000 times. I wouldn't stop playing it until like my goal was like I can break even on this course, like I know I can, and then I did for an MA2 NADGT tryout. And I was like, this course is okay. It was a lucky day. I had it was lucky day.
Hey,
you know when the trees are being really good to you,
Yeah.
and there's like your shots off, but they just ting 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 you back in. It's like okay, I'll take it. I mean, it was really just a bunch of pars. They like their turnout game. They get a couple of lucky birdies. It's like oh that round just happened because it feels like I was in trouble most of the day. But anyway, that's my top 5.
Awesome.
I won't drone out anymore about Roy G and how much I love you.
Yeah, we've given that course a lot of love today. That's
Well, it's a good course. Also free, also good parking. There's also the field right next to it where you can go do field work and throw. I mean, it's got everything you want. And then if you want to go play another quick round after that, you can jam to Met. You can jam to Live Oak. Zilker's right there.
Yep.
So a second round from Roy is always easy too.
Although that's a long round. That's a long round.
It is a long
that's
round.
A lot of disc golf.
Yeah, I feel like the second round's maybe when you didn't play well and you want an easier course to feel a little bit about yourself about that before you go home. Met's probably not the one to go to after it, but a Live Oak on the way home, bring your spirits up a bit.
For me, it's
There you
Wells
go.
on the way home.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
I
thing.
played one time. I played 3 rounds in a day, and we played Williamson County. Then we went and played Cat Hollow, and on the way back to my house, I took the wrong exit. Like I didn't get onto the toll road. I went the other way, and End up right by Wells Branch, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop and
This is
fight.
gonna make me feel
I was
better.
like, I already had 2 bad rounds. I can't have a 3rd bad round. Oh, I had the worst round ever.
Even at Wells, oh, brutal.
Did you have fun though?
Huh?
Did you have fun?
Oh yeah.
that's all
when do you not have fun?
Yeah,
man?
yeah,
Like,
Throwing plastic.
Yeah, what are we
End of
doing?
the day.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have one last little thing to get through, and this is honestly the most gracious thing we've ever had someone do since we've started the podcast. Granted, we're 5 in, but still, it's amazing. Dave, do you want to tell us what the listeners of the podcast can do if they head over to powerdiscgolfacademy.com?
yeah. So powerdga.com.
That's my bad. Powerdga.com.
Powerdga.com. Yeah. So if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching it, it doesn't matter when. When are you guys releasing this?
This will come out in the next, what's today? Tuesday the what? Oh, it's right there. It's the 6th. I literally put this in to not have to do that.
Yeah, that's why it's there. It's the
Tuesday the
6th.
6th, so it'll come out by the 10th?
Okay, cool. So like if you're watching it
pretty
on,
quick.
on February 10th or 2 years from now, we're going to set the code for just barely stable, all uppercase, barely stable. And if you go to our website and go to the checkout page and enter promo code barely stable, you'll get 50% off of your first year of the academy.
It's absurd.
awesome.
That's so
That's
absurd.
incredible.
Thank you
Yes.
so much. That's
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not being paid for this. He's not being paid to be here, but I will say as someone who paid for it willingly without any sort of like, I had no idea. It just seemed like a good idea with good people. It's infinitely worth the money. Like whatever subscription you pay for right now, whether it's Netflix or whatever, just take a break for 2 months. It'll pay for it right then. It's not expensive. It's exceptionally reasonably priced. It actually doesn't even make sense how reasonably priced it is. With the discount that I got, which was just a promo you guys were running, I don't even want to quote it, but I want to say it was such a small amount that I didn't really even think about it.
Right.
Like, it would have been dinner, like at a not so great restaurant, like we could have got, yeah.
What's funny is that at our price point, and probably like what makes it just immediately worth it, is that you lose way less discs. Like when I first started playing, I was losing a disc every round,
Brother.
And then I'm back at the disc golf shop buying another $25 disc because I like that last disc and I don't want to change. And then they talked me into buying another disc, and I'm like, okay, I'm going with 2 discs. And I wouldn't have done that if I didn't lose my disc, because like for the longest time I lost Williamson County. I forget what.
Wilco.
Oh, man.
It's tough. It's a tough course. But there's always a headwind that comes down that tunnel, and I had no idea what a headwind would do to an understable disc.
The long tunnel one.
That's is it like 14, I think, or 13 or 14.
Well, there's always the
Yeah.
backup during tournaments. Yeah.
I forget, but I lost probably about 6 Discmania Origins because I thought it was the right disc to throw, but the headwind just took it so far
out.
right into those woods, and I legit lost money because I didn't know what the disc was going to do. So simply like learning what the discs are going to do and how to make them do that, you lose way less discs, and it's worth it.
And that's another step towards improving your game, because once you get to know your discs a little better, you know what they do. You're not learning a new disc
Right.
as frequently.
Right.
A little bit of that helped me build a better bag, which is something we're talking about next episode.
Yeah.
We pulled up our bag matrices and we're kind of looking for holes, but the thought that you need certain shots to score on certain holes.
Right.
Like you actually need a 300-foot stable fairway, whatever the shot may be. And then it's like, oh, well, actually, you just have a bingo card. And once you have this shot, oh, wait, this disc makes this shot easier. Oh, wait, I can just pair discs to the type of shots I need. And next thing you know, like instead of trying to force a shot on a disc that like kind of will do that, but isn't really the best for it,
Right.
you're just throwing the right disc that's like, oh, wow, I magically hit that line every time now. So I'm just using the proper disc. That was a little bit of what helped me with Power Disc Golf. I had a very limited bag, and I wasn't thinking about like how discs were helping me or how discs were. I was actually fighting against discs most of the time, for being honest. Like I was doing better despite my best efforts to like have that not be the case with my disc selection.
Right. Yeah. Disc selection is big. In fact, we just released our how to properly build a bag lessons.
Oh, cool.
So Holland taught. Yep. See, Holland talked about it, and so did Ezra. But like, when you look at an amateur's bag, when you really dig into it for their skill set, you're like, these are the wrong discs, and you have so much overlap and so many gaps.
Yeah.
No wonder you're having a hard time. Yeah. But so many people, they just they don't know what to get. They see the pros throwing a time lapse, and they're like, I'm gonna go get a time lapse. and it's like I haven't even bought. Simon's my boy. I haven't bought one of those because I know I can't throw it.
You got one. It's not you. It does fly, but you got to have some. You got
some fire on that bad
cook with
boy.
some oil,
Yeah.
to get that thing to do anything
little
other
mustard
than
on
just
that
be,
hot dog.
Yeah, a big meat hook. But it is the prettiest disc that I've ever bought. So
Okay.
shout out Simon for
Nice.
cool discs.
This guy also carries around like 100 discs too. So
I have an absurd bag.
He was showing us his
sweet.
chart.
I pulled up my
Bag or a cart?
It's a cart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like too much, but if we're being honest, I could put 3 more discs in, and sure, like 4 or 5 discs would get used rarely, but when I want to throw that shot,
It's there.
it's
You
the
have it.
I
exact,
know that.
it's the exact disc
Yeah.
that you need to
I
do
know
that,
that.
shot.
That my captain's rafter. That's my disc. That I'll use that once every 6 or 7 rounds. But that one time I need it, I'm like, thank God
It's
I got
the
it.
disc
This-
you need.
this is
I
my
completely
disc.
agree. Yeah, that's one of the discs that I have in that. It looks almost new because it just doesn't get a lot of bang. And actually, the newer ones fly even more like I kind of hope they do. So I just kind of keep the newer one in
Putting
there.
them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we'll go over that and so much more on the next episode. We just want to really thank David Bibiano coming in, talking about the Power Disc Golf Academy. Again, it's worth just checking out. Don't want to oversell this endorsement, but it helps us out a lot. It's helped me out a lot. I'm sure Freeberg, as you dig in, she'll get a lot out of it too.
PowerDGA.com.
PowerDGA.com.
Give him a follow on social, Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram is where we have a TikTok too, but Instagram is where we get,
Do you guys dance?
On
We don't
TikTok,
dance either.
Listen, man, what's so funny is that I'm actually trying to start a dance academy online.
Yeah, that's great.
Because
You have a method. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
no, but we don't dance yet because
Oh, if you need somebody to show you some sweet dance moves.
He's
That
our,
you-
TikTok,
he's our head of
I
TikTok
got you.
dances.
oh, all right.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody else thinks they're as good as I do, but I think they're pretty awesome.
All right.
His birdie dance, not bad. It's not bad.
Birdies.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You don't get to see it often. You don't get to see it often.
Because we played at Roy G.
Okay, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks again for David coming in. Again, powerdga.com is where you'll find it. And we'll be back to wrap up this episode after a word from our sponsor.
Rambler. They don't sponsor us. We just love them.
And welcome back to the Barely Stable podcast, everybody. It was great having David here to have a nice little interview.
That's awesome.
About the Power DGA.
Yeah. I mean, to have him kind of break down how he kind of got into it, like the why behind it, like I couldn't think of a better person to have made the Power Disc Golf Academy. He seemed like he was just in the perfect position to do such. And I mean, I don't say good on him, but like, good job, man.
Yeah.
Like, good job, Mr. Bibiano. Like, that's
Just a stand-up dude. I've met him a couple times out at Northtown. He lives by there. I live by there. First time we had found a really cool Luna, and my buddy Ty was like, "Hey man, there's no name on this," but we caught up to him, and we're like, "Hey, did you lose a Luna?" And he's like, "Oh, thanks, man. That's really cool." And then he gave us coupons
for Power DGA.
for Power DGA.
Very cool.
And then the other time I ran into him, he was just playing through, and I had thrown my pizza behind hole 3 into the river.
And he found yours?
Well, no, he helped me look for it though
Oh.
for like 15 or 20 minutes. Finally, I started feeling bad. I was like, bro, I don't think we're gonna find it. And
That's a good dude.
yeah, like just didn't ask him. Didn't really. I don't think he really remembered who I
How about
was
this?
or
How about
anything.
everyone listening to the podcast? 50% off.
50% off is pretty solid.
What the heck?
That's
We and this is not a joke. We're just going to be honest here. When he sat down before the interview, we're saying hello, doing our pleasantries, just kind of talking him through how the interview will go, and we kind of just throw it at the end. Yeah, and if you want to promote anything or if you have any like discount code or whatever, he makes up a discount code on the spot. And then goes, what do you guys, how would you guys want? Like a bigger discount early or give him a discount over time? And Freeber goes, I don't know, bigger discount early. He goes, okay, half off.
yeah. Okay, 50%.
and
off.
he
Just
just-
dropped it like it was nothing.
And just, there it is. And again, not to, this is not a paid, he didn't give us anything. We didn't give him
He
anything.
gave me $20 when he left, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
LinkedIn's always getting.
We're going to need that in the piggy bank.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to the piggy bank.
But it's it was easily I don't know, if you could go and spend $60 on 3 discs or $60, which I think is more than what you would spend on half off a year of Power DGA, what's going to improve your game more? 3 new discs or literally a lesson on everything that you want to do in disc golf?
I mean, why not both?
I mean, hey, that's spoken like a true disc maniac. And I feel like I related with him where if you lose a disc, you do go into Disc Nation. And next thing you know, oh, there's another mold you like in a better plastic. Oh, there's something new. Oh,
I
there's
like this new stamp on this disc that I have 3 of.
yeah. Next thing you know, you're walking out with 6 discs and a lot of questions from your wife when you get home. Which you can answer them.
That happens.
You know what? Because I'm a man, and I can do what I want.
And I do what I want. Yeah, don't tell Nikki.
I hope she doesn't watch this.
Yeah. So
I'm kidding, babe.
We have another giveaway today.
Yeah, we're doing a big
talking
giveaway.
about?
Yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway ourselves. We got a couple stickers, right? So if you ever see us out on the course, Mr. Freeberg or myself,
We'll have some.
yeah, just come up and ask us.
and say.
We'll literally just give you one.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
While
showing those to the
supplies
camera there, Mr. Rigdon. So these stickers, one's a classic cassette, a disc golf cassette, and the other one's a energy drink kind of mock-up. Both great for your cart or your water bottle or whatever. But if you'd like one of these stickers, we're going to make it really easy. You don't have to share this with your friends. You don't have to tag 20 things. You don't have to do any of that. The only thing you have to do is take anything from our Instagram account, our Facebook account, anything.
TikTok.
TikTok's fine. Instagram's probably the easiest and most preferred, but just go share something. If you take anything from our grid and share it to your story, any of our reels, posts, I think there's only a dozen of them up there. There's not a lot. Just share anything at all. Tag us in that post. Not any of your friends. You don't have to go. Just share, tag us, and you're in. 10 people, we'll send you a free sticker. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do anything. We'll just ask for your address. We'll personally lick a stamp. We'll stick it in an envelope with a nice little letter that says how much we love and appreciate you.
Sure.
And you'll get a couple stickers in the mail. I'd say.
Dibs on stamp licking.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't go like George's wife did in Seinfeld. A lot of licking. Back to reality. We have, I guess, one more little thing to discuss before we get out of here, right?
Do what?
I don't know. I thought we did.
Oh, no.
We
I
don't?
think we're good.
No, I think we're right. Okay, so I guess that's it. That's how you poorly wrap up a podcast, if you guys were wondering. And we'll do it better next time. And on, who knows, episode 7, 8, we might be good at this. We'll see.
We're practicing. We're getting better. Thank you for watching episode 5 with us. Big thanks to Nick for putting all these together. Rigdon for being the hot one. And remember, out on the field, just be cool. And we'll see you next time. This is the Barely Stable Podcast. Like and follow on all your favorite social media.
Time, weather, and always pass. Case